This, ladies and gentlemen, is my embarrassing confession. I grew up with a mother who was a welfare queen, and I've lived in more trailer parks than I can possibly count. Seriously. I had a very horrible childhood, very Charles Dickens childhood, and I was in foster care for 4 years. So we're going to talk about the SNAP benefits because guess what? Your friend here, Naomi, I am the one here to tell you that I know exactly what it's like to be on welfare, to be a child on welfare, to have a mother who is a welfare queen. Back when my mother was alive, and we were living that life, she would give me and my sister food stamps. And they came in, actual paper bills back in those days. And we would have to take those down to like a little store and buy something cheap.
I remember those paper bills. I remember because my mom used to be on food. Well, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. My mom has been on food stamp for decades. Since I was a kid, my mom has been. Matter of fact, yes. So it'll probably be over 30 years since my mom been on food stamps, and that's coming from me. I'll explain a lot more probably towards the end.
So that they would have to pay us back in change. Then we would take the change to her. She would collect the change. She would give us other food stamps, and we would continue doing that until she had enough of the change money to purchase what was really important to her, which was marijuana and alcohol. So foster care 4 years, and I can say foster care was a lot better than living with my mother. We're going to tie this into the SNAP benefits, and I know that there are many people in this world who are truly innocent and genuinely do need those benefits. People who will have a car accident or a sudden medical incident or a real handicap or maybe an autism at such a level that they're not really capable of functioning in society. We have a lot of people with autism. We have a lot of people who are elderly. I'm looking at those people saying, yes, I think that we should be very generous with them because they are the weakest ones. But I want
Well, let me put it like this. I do actually agree with that. However, the way I think they should do it, and like I will stick with it till this day because, like I said, shout out to the people in the comment section. I think they need to do a private pantry. Now, I'm gonna get to the rest of it, but I think they should do a private pantry for people who are not able, unable, disabled to actually, take like to actually be supplied food rather than get SNAP benefits because that way, two things. One, whoever's taking care of them don't have to scam them. And two, that way they don't have to sell those food stamps for cash. This would avoid a lot of criminal activity. That way we can actually keep more money into the taxpayer pockets. That's a legislation in my mind, just saying. I'm getting through this throughout the whole time. When I'm actually speaking to the people, I want them to understand what, they need to know what I would put into place because there's a lot of people who are able-bodied and they should not be getting these benefits. With that being said, they need to be a welfare check. A welfare check. I'm trying to get these words. A welfare check. I'm having fun with that, but it's annoying. They should have a welfare check where people have to come to your house, and I know people won't like this, but guess what? You know them by their fruit, and if they completely commit fraud, they can automatically get sent to fucking jail for doing what they do. They can do a welfare check, come to the house, make sure these people are actually telling the truth. Make sure they're telling the truth. Because if they wrong, they lie, that's the ass. So It's a legislation on my plate. I'm just saying this will be good for the economy. This will be good for the people who are paying the taxes on lazy ass people. Because me personally, I don't think these lazy ass fat fucking, and I say this again, fat fucking wildebeest need to be having these SNAP benefits.
We can't be naive about the other half. We can't be naive about the people like my mother. People like that do exist, and I'm here to tell you, I have seen it with my own two eyes. It is
Matter of fact, my grandmother was on SNAP benefits. She was popping babies like fucking crazy. She had possibly, I think, 8 kids, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really keep count because there was a lot of them.
real. And what is really happening with these individuals is they have a slave mentality. Welfare
Correct.
recipients, people who are talking about society's duty to feed their children, people who also think that others have a duty to work and to be forced to give the fruits of their labor to other people. They don't have that duty.
So let me tell you how this works. The goal is to keep you broke. I'm gonna let her get to the rest of this, but the goal is to keep you broke. You have to reach a certain cap in order for you to get those SNAP benefits. If you do not reach that certain cap, you will not get the SNAP benefits. This is how they are trying to control you. I kept saying this over and over again, but you know who had the biggest fucking fallout on this shit and against me, calling me a coon? Black people. Because they're so fucking stupid and they don't understand the whole point. Democrats push this shit on you. This is a socialist mindset. This is a socialist movement that is going on. And people don't realize, no matter what they're trying to do is figure out how to fucking make money while being broke. All they're trying to do is trying to fucking, be rich while being broke. You ever notice those people who are broke as fucking limit have BMWs and Mercedes Benz, but can keep up with the fucking car note? Possibly, allegedly, could keep up with the car note. These people thinking they're gonna get rich, but still have that fucking same broke mindset. Whether you believe it or not, you are always gonna be the slaves to the fucking government. Where if you're on the Republican end, they don't want you to rely on the government. That's not their job. I don't give a fuck about what. Look, if the government gives me the tools I need to succeed, that's all I need. So I don't have to rely on them. But you want to continue to be a fucking slave? Well, guess what? Y'all all got y'all damn nigga card now.
They don't have that duty. But welfare breeds a slave mentality. It breeds people who do become dependent and who also evolve a sense of freaking entitlement.
Facts.
When you have to do things on your own, though, that sense of entitlement kind of goes away.
Mm-hmm.
When you really have to work and have to earn it, they think that.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was on government assistance and I did not like it. I had to get off of it. Plus, I was making more money anyway, so I had like 3 fucking jobs during that time. So it was worth it. It was worth to get cut off and like eliminate that spigot, so I don't have to worry about taking from the taxpayers. And I actually felt good about it because it made me feel like a better man, with growing up and improving myself as well. So I thought it was actually a good choice for me personally. If you are a guy on this kind of assistance, that trust me, that's weak. That's weak behavior.
They're entitled to it and they don't have a growth mentality. This might be the actual best thing that could have happened for that particular group of people, because consider this: the average body weight of an individual who works is about 160 pounds. We're talking about a female here. The average body weight of a female who is on SNAP benefits is 210 pounds. So
that is also a fact, because my mom is still overweight till this day. She couldn't cut the interest off of her waist. Not only that, she is completely disabled till this day now. because she became overweight. It is so bad. She lost a lot of her hair. I told her, I tried to warn her, get rid of those wigs. It's bad. I wish it would have been better, but guess what? I had to leave the problem behind me. And you know, people used to say that's your mother, that's just all fine and dandy. But guess what? I would rather be on my own than end up being a fucking son husband suffering under her roof. I'm just saying. Because she failed herself, she failed her life, she failed herself even keeping a man. And that's on her.
Maybe the good thing here is that if they're so worried about freaking food, they're going to start digesting their own body fat. And maybe that experience might be enough to tell them that they need to get a goddamn job to pay for
I
themselves
mean,
and their
that's a
kids.
start.
Okay, but why are you even having children that you cannot afford to take care of?
Facts.
Why? Why would somebody do that? So again, I'm not talking about the people who just need emergency help. I'm not talking about the people who are genuinely innocent. I'm talking about the ones who have the sense of goddamn entitlement. You know, and then all the others, the virtue signalers, the ones who are out there to show us how evolved they are by defending the poor children on the SNAP benefits. Come on, wake up. This is probably one of the best things that could have happened to them, because now they're not getting those benefits. What are they going to have to do? Yeah, they're going to have to start thinking. And there are many ways of making money that are legal and right. You just have to be a creative thinker and have something called a growth mindset.
Facts.
Yes. And most importantly, understand that no one has a duty to pay your way for anything. Nobody. And everything should be earned. Nothing should be free.
Facts. Facts. And more facts. So, like I was saying, I was born and raised from New Orleans, Louisiana. I never forget everything I've been through as a kid. I'll never forget how poor I was as a kid. My mom was struggling so bad, even trying to keep up with feeding us. I know how it feels to be broke. Like I said, just taking the small stuff, what was left at during the end of the month, trying to keep us fed was the fucking roughest time. And believe it or not, I don't know what she was doing with those stamps, but I know she had us going to the store and doing this. Look, possibly the same shit that this young lady was doing herself. It was the biggest struggle of my life, and that from there on taught me that I don't ever want to put myself in that type of position. I can't do it. I don't ever want to fucking be in that position. I don't ever want to fucking be broke. I can't do it. Because, matter of fact, I've been living with my mom since the age of 18. That's when she put me out. I had to figure out how bad both of my parents was when she kicked me out, and I had to deal with my father, myself. I had to understand how both of them were. From that point on, I had to have my own mindset. I had to not think like them. I had to put myself in a better position. I've had my roles, but those roles taught me to become better throughout the years that I've grown and begin to advance my life. So it was tough, but what I've learned throughout my life is to never go back from where you started. I never forgot where I came from, but never repeat the same shit twice. And that means don't go back from where you started. Sure, there are going to be some failures down the road, but those failures will often lead to success. And that's what I had to learn, because ever since I've been watching them, and this is why I say kids are sponges, because they see everything that you go through. And parents should not be telling their kids their business. That should be between the husband and the wife. But when you see what your parents go through, you will more than likely struggle, because you won't learn and completely understand until you possibly make the age of 25. Sometimes it's at an earlier age than that. So this government assistance, I don't like it. I don't want it. And I think they need to complete what's going to happen. Like I said, the Great Reset is going to reset people's lives. And I think for a fact, what I want to do is make a complete change to this government assistance, to everything. I want to make a complete change to this. That's why I want to actually do these pantries, where someone who is disabled whoever they can have to co-sign for them, can actually, and whoever's taking care of them can actually get some food and go on with their way, rather than being scammed and committing fraud. But that's me. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section down below. And what do y'all think about this situation? Because I'd rather be successful than to be a slave.